which has also since been reversed. The things that I discovered while I was to help with my sensory system being so bombarded was both movement, which was dancing, and scribbling with two hands on at the same time. Both these things allowed me to rock and flap and move and twitch in a public situation, and it was socially acceptable rather than just, which is what you feel like doing. But you know, you put two pencils in your hand and scribble, which is the same thing, then all of a sudden that's okay. So that's what I did. So I made sure I always carried a book and a pencil with me, and if I forgot to carry a book, then I'd draw on anything: tables, clothes, walls, coasters, anything I could find. And as you watched me, you could the rate of the stimulation in my head, my hands were like a seismograph machine. So the faster they were going was as intense as it was in my head. So the drawing here on the right hand side for me depicts when I'm in that state, and particularly in a heightened social situation where there's so much stimulation coming in. That's how it feels in my brain, that every area of the brain is firing like watching fireworks, and things are connecting in your head, but you can't grasp them, you can't hold on to them, and it gets to a point that everything, like the computer, just closes, shuts down, and that's when I would tend to pass out, drop to the floor, my muscles would spasm and twitch like a seizure. So for me, the drawing almost acted like traffic lights that kept all that information in my brain flowing and my system calm. Also, while I was scribbling, I would be tuning into the sound of the pencils as they scratched across the paper, and tuning into the sound and following that rhythm also helped calm me and actually put me into like a trance-like state, and this would take me away from all the sensory bombardment.
So did you keep any of those drawings?
I do, yeah, no I do. There's some coming along, but I have them all, even the coasters, and yeah. Well, people told me to keep them, so I didn't know why at the time.
To see them.
Yeah. How the drawings then developed, as you can see, from scribble to image. So this actually looks really like I've probably consciously sat down to draw a picture, but it really just started with just scribbling. But as I would scribble and I would go into a very calm state, I would realise that shapes started to form, and these shapes were quite three-dimensional, and I would follow the shapes, and the shapes were really comforting for me, and keep me even more calm. Even though I could hear everything going on around me, it was like it was miles away. There was a safe distance. And you can see in this drawing, but also in a lot of my drawings of these scribbles, there's either a tunnel, a definite tunnel you can see, or a tunnel-like destination, and that's exactly how I felt while I'd be drawing, is that I would be drawing myself into this tunnel, and so these shapes were shapes that kept me safe and calm and comfortable, and so it helped save me. So it was very much just a survival mechanism. I also realised that as I kept continuing to draw, that I was managing to put into a visual format words that were in my head that I couldn't make connect to my mouth and explain things that were going on with me. I actually have written in one of my drawings, information trapped in a linguistically stumped body, and that's exactly how I felt, that there was just so much information. I had so many pictures in my head but when I tried to make them into words, it was just jammed and it wouldn't happen. So I kept drawing to try and explain what I was feeling and seeing, and but of course it's always open to interpretation, and that was difficult. I once I would be drawing and I was in that state, it would be really hard to talk to me. I could hear people talking to me, but I couldn't really come out and engage with them. And I recall one day sitting and drawing, and someone was talking to me. I didn't respond to them. They walked away, and I heard them say, "She's so ignorant." So from that, I was then inspired to write this little piece. It reads, "A room full of people, hundreds of feet, chatter, 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 as they all speak. My head is down, stuck in my book, drawing away, now and then I look. Noise surrounds my ears, away, away I drift. I don't need to ignore you, I accept this strangeness as a gift. More crowded the room, the more I create, louder the noise, off I go in that deep space. Noise finds visions, visions makes words. I yearn for the quietness of my little shed, alone here is peaceful, and I can write and empty my head." So a lot of people found that I was quite strange or rude or